so important. I mean, we're all coming from behind when it comes to financial education. We just are. We're coming to this world. No one's going out of their way. Matter of fact, they're going out of their way to try to make us feel stupid about money and make us feel that the bankers are the smart ones that hold our money. Just like we used to think the doctors were the ones that we should trust with our health. Just like we used to think the government were the ones we used to protect our human rights. Because of the last few years, we all know, I'd say a lot of people know those are no longer true. But like you said, with women, it's even worse because there's this whole fairy tale narrative of you're going to be taken care of. And so on top of that, it's even harder. But like you said, all the tools are out there. And
they're all out there.
They're all out there. And, I think last time Robert was on, we were talking about a New York Times article that was trying to criticize Jared Kushner for making money in real estate and not paying taxes. And, classic New York Times vilifying someone for making money in a legal way. And, he was using the same tools that anyone in the world can use. Yeah. And so the same thing is true, I guess, with women.
It is. They say women are risk averse when it comes to money. And I like to use the word risk aware. You look at these women investment clubs, they do pretty well. And they do their homework and they look at what the risk level is so that they can reduce the risk. I think the best investors, men or women, the best investors are ones that do their homework, understand the investment, they get educated on it. The worst investors are the ones that take the hot tips. Just give me a hot tip and I'm going to invest. I got into it the other day with somebody and I was talking about starting small, and this was about real estate. Starting small, make mistakes, and we can talk about mistakes because that's the key to everything in my world. Make mistakes because that's how you learn. And then grow from there and grow from there. But start small. He said, you don't have to start small. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you could I have this, 250 unit apartment building. They could just invest with me. And I'm like, yeah, they could, but they're not going to learn a damn thing because you're going to take their money and you're going to either give them a check or not every month. Are you going to educate them about how you run the property, about how you manage the property? Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, well, then it's one strategy. It's not right or wrong. It's just not my strategy. If I'm going to put some money into something, I want to learn about it. I want to get smart about it because I'm probably going to want to do it again. And every time I part with money, Brian, I learn something. Every time. It could be $10. I'm going to learn because I hate to lose money.
Kim, your philosophy of start small is crucial, and it affected me in a big way. In 2021, we created the Crypto and DeFi Academy. And so I started taking people around the world through like a 4-week boot camp so they could just understand the basics of, what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum, what's a yield farming technique, et cetera. And I used your philosophy, the same one you told me when you were in the studio in 2019, where you said, start small. I remember, Kim, you said, buy $50 worth of gold, buy $25 worth of silver. Just do this and start small and you'll get a feel for it. And if you own a little something, you'll now be engaged. You'll really understand it. Because you have to feel, don't you have to feel an investment? The way it affects you emotionally, the way you get excited, the way you get scared. And so that's what I did in my academy. And I would tell my students, I was like, look, I want you to go buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, $50 worth of Ethereum. I want you to send it out to Aave and get a return of 4%. And they would be going crazy. And I'd be like, look, it's $50. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And sometimes they would screw it up. And sometimes they thought they screwed up and then it would appear back. And they always learned. And every now and then someone would lose it out in the ether. And I'd say, it was $50. It could have been $50,000. Yeah. Yeah. And in 2 years, it will be 50,000 you'll be moving around. But now it's 50. And I'm telling you, Kim, I've taught over 1,000 students this stuff, and it gets them over the line because they're quickly convinced. I said, you'll spend more in the bar on Friday than that. So don't tell me you don't have the money. And then once they do it with a little bit, it's a massive education. So that advice is crucial.
Oh, that is key because my second book is called It's Rising Time. And I wrote It's Rising Time because I saw women, they would read a book and they get excited, or they go to a seminar, they get excited, but they wouldn't take that first step. And so for me, every time I want to learn about a new investment or a new business, I have to put a little money into it. I've got to put a little money down because that gets me in the game. And as I said, if it's $10, if it's $100,000, I'm going to be interested to find out how I'm going to get that money back. But if you just put put your toe in the water, just get in the game a little bit. If it's real estate, start with just maybe a small property or a piece of a property, but get some money into the game, because that really will accelerate your learning tremendously. And I did that myself with gold and silver. I remember this first silver coin I bought. I probably still have it because I never sell any of my assets. I never sell gold or silver. I never sell real estate. The only time I'll sell real estate is if the property has kind of gotten to the point where it's not going to produce anymore. It's kind of reached its plateau and there's a better opportunity somewhere else. That's the only time I would sell.
Right.
Otherwise,
and then you fold that value of the asset into another asset in a tax-free manner.
Correct. Yeah, we have a rule that says anytime a dollar enters the asset column, it stays in the asset column. So if I was to sell a property, that money stays in the asset column. I never ever will take it out to buy a new car or buy a boat. No, it stays in the asset column. It's got to keep working. And you'll be surprised how fast, when you start small, how fast that money in the asset column starts to churn and starts to make you more and more money. But that's a rule that we've held steadfast to.
And if you want to buy the car, you have to do it with your passive income.
Correct. Exactly. So if we have a property that's throwing off, let's say $5,000 a month, and we did this because Robert wanted a Porsche, and so I'm like, well, let's find the asset that's going to pay for the Porsche. So we found a self-storage unit in Austin, Texas, and every month that check came in and that paid for the Porsche. Eventually, the Porsche gets paid off. We still have the property and we still have the cash flow.
So important.
It's so easy. It's not rocket science. It's easy.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.